Welcome to the 2025 Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators Award presentation. This contest was open to children in the 1st to 5th grade, and today we recognize the top 3 winners in each grade. The judges had read and reread them to narrow it down in each class. We are honored to share each of those stories and illustrations with you. We are going to start with a 3rd place winner in the 1st grade class.
The Snow Monster Who Hates Christmas by Riata Schultz. Once there was a snow monster who hated Christmas. The snow monster's friend was the magical unicorn who loved Christmas. One day, the magical unicorn came over to the snow monster's house. The magical unicorn told the snow monster that Christmas was tomorrow. The snow monster was so mad that his face was redder than red. The friend asked,
"Why do you hate Christmas so much?"
The snow monster didn't answer because he was thinking of an evil plan to steal all of Santa's cookies. Just then, a crazy thing started happening. The magical unicorn started changing colors. She noticed that whichever color she lands on is how she feels. Then she landed on happy, which is pink. She asked very nicely,
"Why do you not like Christmas?"
Snow Monster said,
"I don't like Santa because he gets so many cookies and no one ever makes me any. It's just annoying."
The magical unicorn had an idea and went home. She made the snow monster cookies and took them to his house. The snow monster felt so happy. Now every Christmas, the magical unicorn makes the snow monster cookies. The snow monster liked Christmas from that day on.
The Kitty Rescue by Evelyn Johnson. Once upon a time, a young gray cat ran away from a big red fox. The cat's name was Raffi, and he had 2 girls who loved him. Maddie and Ebby were playing outside when they saw the big red fox chasing Raffi. They ran for help. They asked their daddy for help. Daddy ran outside and chased the fox away. Raffi came back to thank them for saving him. Then the girls gave him a big hug and carried him inside. The girls had a big picnic in their bedroom with Raffi, and they had lots of fun.
Elena Ballerina by Elena Schroeder. Once there was a girl named Elena who wanted to be a ballerina. Her mom got her ballerina shoes and a ballerina dress for Christmas. After she got them, she really wanted to compete in a ballerina show. She wanted to win. If I want to win, I'll need to practice really good, she thought. So she practiced and practiced. On the day of the show, one ballerina danced before her, and then it was Elena's turn. Elena danced and danced. Then the other ballerinas joined in with Elena, and they danced beside each other. At the end, they bowed. When it was time to get the trophy, the ballerinas all stood beside each other. The judge said Elena's name, and she got the trophy. Elena got so famous that she got $150,000 every time she danced, and she was able to open a ballerina school and become a teacher there. So many people came to her class that she got so much money. When Elena got old, she didn't think about dancing much anymore. So she gave her ballet stuff to another little ballet girl that had grown up.
Congratulations to all the 1st grade winners. Coming up next, we will announce the top 3 in the 2nd grade.
Messer is a technology and gases applications leader with the knowledge to provide solutions that meet customer needs across multiple industries. We value safety, people excellence, and dependable performance to benefit the industries essential to daily life. Messer, gases for life. Learn more at www.messer-us.com.
Welcome back to Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators Contest Award presentation. Now, here are your 2nd grade winners.
Riley's Surprise by Riley Schroeder. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Riley. Riley waited 7 years for a baby brother. One day, he found out that his mom was pregnant. 9 months later, during supper, his mom felt her baby jump, so she thought she was going to have her baby. Dad took Riley and his 4 sisters to their grandma and papa's house. Then Dad went home, and Mom's midwife came to help Mom have her baby. Then Mom had her baby at 10:15 p.m. The next morning, Grandma and Papa took Riley and his 4 sisters to their house to see their new baby brother. He was the cutest baby brother ever, and his name was Fulton. Friends Forever by Elsie Mai. I dedicate my story, Butterscotch, to my parents and to my brother. Butterscotch the dragon was so sad. She had a tear rolling down her cheek and she was by herself. I saw her at the Dragon Zoo. I knew she needed a friend. That friend was me. I had been saving up for something special. This was my moment. I did it. I bought a dragon. We discovered she needed a better habitat. She was fed catfish, but she liked tuna and rainbow fish. She was put in a forest, but she was happy in a cave. She was so afraid and alone. Owen and I knew Butterscotch needed a friend to protect her and give her love. Having a pet is a lot of responsibility. You have to give your pet the right food, clean water, a nice safe home, and lots of exercise. Most of all, you need to give them love and they will love you right back. The Babysitter, written and illustrated by Mila Jovi Lesage. It was 6 p.m. John was playing. Then his parents came and said they were going to a city far away. They were going to find a babysitter. John had never had a babysitter, and he had never been that far from his parents. He was nervous. John had never met the babysitter, but she did sound nice. Later, John heard a knock. It was the babysitter. When it was time for Mom and Dad to go, they said goodbye. Once the door shut, there was just silence. The babysitter introduced herself. "My name is Layla. Nice to meet you. I brought Legos. Want to play?" "Sure." Then they got hungry, so they had a snack. John wanted to play with his cars until it was time for bed. "Good night," said the babysitter. The next morning, John woke up and his parents were home. John was so happy to see his parents. Then John remembered he had a babysitter for the first time. He was so proud of himself. 1 week later, John's parents said they were going to have Layla over to watch John again. John could not wait. "Yeah," said John.
That was some great stories from the second grade. Coming up next, we will announce the third grade winners.
Messer is a technology and gases applications leader with the knowledge to provide solutions that meet customer needs across multiple industries. We value safety, people excellence, and dependable performance to benefit the industries essential to daily life. Messer, gases for life. Learn more at www.messer-us.com.
Welcome back to Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators Contest Award presentation. The third grade has been busy. Let's see who their winners are.
Eric the Gnome Meets New Friends by Hallie Corey. Once upon a time, there was a lonely gnome named Eric that lived in the country. He was on a walk and saw a little turtle. Eric took the turtle to his little cottage. It was really hot outside, so Eric the gnome went to make lemonade. When he got back to give the turtle the lemonade, he didn't see him.
Where is he?
Thought Eric. The turtle was small and Eric, the gnome, didn't have very good eyesight.
Oh, there you are.
They drank their lemonade and then went out for their daily walk. When they were on their walk, they saw a little girl named Lily running in a field a couple blocks away from the cottage. Lily saw Eric and the turtle, so she went over to say hi just to be nice.
Oh no,
Said Lily.
Why did you say that?
Asked Eric the gnome.
there's a storm coming.
Said Lily.
We don't have enough time to go back to my cottage.
Said Eric. Lily replies.
Just huddle up and think about nice and warm, perfect weather.
So they huddled together and thought about happy things. Then the storm stops and they become friends and go on a walk together every day. Eric the gnome is not lonely anymore because of his new friends, Little Turtle and Lily. The best thing they learned was to become best friends by keeping each safe and spending time together.
The Discovery of the Huge Robot by Jake Brock. On a cold, dark night in the middle of January, there was a boy lost in the woods. He started looking for shelter. Eventually, he finds a bunker from World War II. He goes into the bunker, looks through the broken doors, and finds the door to the lab. He looks at all the chemicals and mixes some of them. He creates a new type of fuel, so he brings the fuel with him. Then he finds a door that says Robot Testing Facility. He goes in and finds a huge robot standing up. He decides to name it Freddy 2000. He was so interested in Freddy 2000 that he started to turn it on. He looked for a control panel. After a little bit of looking, he finds one. He turns on the screen and it starts beeping. It says the fuel tank is empty. He remembers the new type of fuel he made in the lab. He climbs up a long line of stairs. Then at the top he pours the fuel in the robot's fuel tank. Then he went down the stairs to the control panel, and this time it did not beep. After a few seconds the robot turned on, and he yelled hi, Freddy 2000. After that he went up the stairs and hopped inside Freddy 2000 and flew home. The end.
Blueberry Jeffrey and His Adventure by Addison Little. Once upon a time, a blueberry named Jeffrey lived in a fruit basket. There was a fruit bully called Banana Bob. He was mean to the other fruits. Lily, the purple apple, also lives in the fruit basket. She is Jeffrey's friend. Ralph, the owner of the house where the fruit basket is, loves blueberries and apples. Ralph went on a trip to Florida to visit Harry Potter Land. He needed snacks to take along, so he packed Jeffrey the blueberry and Lily the apple in his suitcase. Banana Bob was left at home. Lily and Jeffrey wondered where they were going. Ralph sat in the seat of the airplane. 3 hours later, they landed in Florida. Lily and Jeffrey were so excited to go on an adventure, but they didn't know where they were going. Before long, they were at a hotel and unpacked from the suitcase. Ralph sat them on the desk in the hotel room so he could remember to take them along to Harry Potter Land. Jeffrey and Lily were excited to see where they were going next. They got to Harry Potter Land and saw Hogwarts, Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione. They were worried that they would be a snack for Ralph, so they quickly escaped to the concession stand where the other food was. They met new friends that were jelly beans and they had fun in the park together the rest of the day.
Those are your 3rd grade winners. Up next are your 4th grade winners.
Messer is a technology and gases applications leader with the knowledge to provide solutions that meet customer needs across multiple industries. We value safety, people excellence, and dependable performance to benefit the industries essential to daily life. Messer, gases for life. Learn more at www.messer-us.com.
It's now time for the 4th grade winners in the Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators Contest Award presentation.
My Lake Trip by Bryce Irwin. In the warm sun, on our boat, we anchored close to shore and jumped from the boat. Swimming up towards the beach, I spotted fish in the water. I crouched down, so I did not scare it. As soon as I got close, I lunged forward to try to grab it by the tail, but it swam away into the murky water. I swam back to the boat with mud on my face from the splash and everyone laughed. Once everybody was back in the boat, we drove all the way out to the middle of the lake. Out on the lake, I went tubing with my dad. We hit a big wave and went underwater. I held on to the tube while my dad let go and jumped off. I went under the water with the tube. After a second, the tube popped out of the water, and I flew off. During that process, the tube flipped over. I looked around to see where I was, and I saw the boat turning around to rescue us. I was scared because I could not see my dad anywhere. Once back on the boat, we checked to see how much gas we had left. There was not enough to make it the rest of the day. We stopped and filled up at the dock. While at the dock, we spotted some more fish. I ran and grabbed some chips, crunched them up and tossed them into the water. After we got back on the boat, we head to a cliff. We can fish and swim, and climb on the tube. Once everyone is on the tube, we take a family picture. Everybody gets off the tube and back onto the boat. We head back towards the dock to hook it up to the trailer. We take a quick stop to buy a snack. While at the convenience store, we saw a puppy, so my sister thought she needed to pet it. After we lure my sister away from the puppy, we grab our snacks and head home.
The Clock That Couldn't Tick by Jensen Miller. There was once a husband clock and a wife clock. When the time ticked by, they had a baby clock, but they realized the baby clock was broken.
"What will we do?"
said Mom Clock.
"He can't tick. I don't want a clock that tells time, but doesn't have a ticker,"
said Dad Clock. Clarkson felt terrible. He didn't want his parents to be so disappointed. He was determined to make his clock parents proud. Clarkson set out to fix his ticker, but it wasn't as easy as he thought. First, he grabbed a screwdriver, put his goggles on, and got to work. When he wound himself up, he was shocked to find he sounded like a whistle. Not a clock. Clarkson went back to the workshop, but this time, when he wound himself up, he sounded like a horse. This was getting worse by the minute. He decided to try one more time, and this time he made a burping noise. Now things were getting worse by the second. Why do clocks have to make a ticking sound? Why couldn't Clarkson make sounds of his own? Maybe it's not such a bad thing to be different from everyone else. Believe it or not, all the other clocks wanted to be just like Clarkson. But Clarkson encouraged them to always be themselves.
The Sock by Kiara Leaker. A sock named Robert was in the sock drawer. It never wanted to come out. Although, the next morning, a boy reached down and grabbed Robert. He sighed. The boy put the socks on. At the end of the day, the boy took off the socks. Instead of putting the socks in the dirty pile, he put Robert on the ground. The boy ran out. Robert lay there dazed. That boy really was stinky. Then Robert became angry. That boy is mean, Robert thought. Then he got an idea. He would run away. When everyone was asleep, he jumped into the sink. He took a bath. Then he got a tongs and opened the door with it. He snuck out. He was free. He proudly started walking. That's when a gust of wind picked him up. He started yelling for help. Then he realized they would be helpless as everyone was asleep, except Robert. He smashed into a tree. He was stuck. The next morning, the same boy came running. Robert made up his mind. He would jump on the boy's head. A raven from above cawed. Robert screamed. The boy looked where he was. He told something to his friends. Then he ran at the tree. Is he out of his wits? Robert thought. The boy started to climb the tree. Then he shouted that he found a familiar sock. He grabbed Robert and got him down. The boy took Robert home and put him in the dirty pile. The thing was, Robert has just taken a bath the night before. However, Robert was glad he was home. He got washed up and was put in the sock drawer. He nuzzled in and got to sleep. Congratulations to all the 4th grade winners. Coming up next, we will announce the top winners in the 5th grade.
Messer is a technology and gases applications leader with the knowledge to provide solutions that meet customer needs across multiple industries. We value safety, people excellence, and dependable performance to benefit the industries essential to daily life. Messer, gases for life. Learn more at www.messer-us.com.
That brings us to the 5th grade winners in the Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators Contest Award presentation.
Lucky the Lost Kitten by Bryn Halbeeb. Once there was a little kitten all alone with nobody to take care of him, and he was only 11 months old. Once he went to a food place that is called the school's cafeteria, and he peered through the window and saw a lot of kids eating food. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of kids ran outside. Then the little kitten darted towards the door, and he knew he had to just get in. But it was too late. The doors closed when he was on the steps. He peered through the window again, and there was another bunch of kids at the door, but they looked a lot smaller than the first bunch. But he would not beg to run towards the door, because he knew he was not going to make it in. And a person named Jessica has 3 girls and a husband, picked him up, and she looked like she had cats and would give him good cat food. And she was a lot taller than the kids. And as he got home, he saw 2 cats. One was white, and he would run away from the kitten when he got close. And one was a tabby, like the little kitten, and he would treat the kitten like a baby. And when Jessica and girls returned home, they decided to name him Lucky. A couple days later, Lucky went missing, and everyone was looking for him. Lucky was so scared he did not know what to do. He knew he was supposed to follow the older cats, but he did not know where to go. He tried going north. He tried going south, but he was not sure about east or west. He tried going east, and he started thinking of the right path home, but without the cats, it just was not right. It was pitch black outside, but he could see with night vision. Soon he was in an alley, and then he noticed a backyard. He recognized he was home.
Miss Kay's Garden by Jaden Keller. There was a nice lady. Her name was Miss Kay. She was kind to everyone and she loved plants. One hot summer, she was sitting on her front porch, watching children help their parents plant gardens. She went to the store and saw her neighbor, Mr. John.
Hello, Mr. John. Would you like to help me? I'm planting a garden.
Mr. John said,
Your garden will never grow.
Miss Kay left the store without buying anything. Miss Kay went to bed that night, thinking about all the things she would do in the morning.
I shouldn't let Mr. John's words bother me. I will plant a garden tomorrow.
In the morning, she decided to call her best friends Abby and Taylor for backup. When they got there, Miss Kay told them how she needed their help to plant a garden. A few hours later, they came up with a plan, a list, and headed to the store. They found a spot perfect for planting. A few hours later, the garden area was ready to plant the seeds. In the morning, Taylor and Abby walked back to Miss Kay's house. When they got to the garden, they saw Miss Kay watering the dirt. The next day, Miss Kay was ready to see her plants growing. Abby and Taylor were already there.
It's not growing.
Miss Kay cried.
It just needs more time,
said Taylor. A few days later, Miss Kay woke up excited again. She ran downstairs and out the door just to find out her garden still wasn't growing. She was upset. Abby and Taylor were watching from a distance and saw what had happened. They asked everyone to help, but they were all busy. The only one able to help was Mr. John, and he said no. Miss Kay sat there, just looking at her empty garden. Mr. John could see Miss Kay from his porch and decided to go talk to her.
I'm sorry, I was mean to you,
said Mr. John. and they talked their day away.
Zelly's Lofty Dream by Rebecca Leager. Zelly, who was in 5th grade, was not like the rest of her class. She wanted to be the youngest girl to fly in space. At recess, she would draw chalk drawings of spaceships in the solar system. A few years later, Zelly started making arrangements for her big expedition. At fundraisers, she would sell her space drawings she made as a kid. When she had the money, she bought supplies like extra fuel, food, and any other supplies you might want on a space journey. However, what Zelly needed most was a co-pilot. She decided she would ask her friend Grace from space school if she would come. Grace was happy to go along.
3,
2, 1. Blast off! Zelly could not believe that she was actually in the rocket with Grace. Right away, she grabbed her camera and took pictures. She felt like a drone that was able to control itself. Within an hour, the girls were in outer space.
We should be the fastest and youngest girls to fly around the Earth,
Grace exclaimed.
Brilliant!
Zelly answered. Right away, they put the rocket on almost full speed. They wondered how much longer the journey would be. The computer showed that it would be 5 more hours. They knew that the record was 10 hours. They would beat the record. In 5 hours, the girls landed on Earth. They had been traveling for 7 hours. When the people near the space station saw the girls get off the rocket, they asked Zelly and Grace what the hardest part was.
Probably when the alien hit the window and would not get off,
the girls joked. Everyone laughed while Zelly and Grace were told they had beat the record for being the youngest, but also the fastest girls to fly around the Earth.
We did it!
Zelly and Grace exclaimed. Zelly celebrated her lofty dream that had finally come true. That brings the 2024 Smoky Hills PBS Young Writers and Illustrators contest to a close. Get those pencils and colors ready and start planning your story for the 2025 contest. More information coming soon. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next year.
Messer is a technology and gases applications leader with the knowledge to provide solutions that meet customer needs across multiple industries. We value safety, people excellence, and dependable performance to benefit the industries essential to daily life. Messer, gases for life. Learn more at www.messer-us.com.